you looking at, you little chickle? Are you looking at me? I'm looking at you, innit? So hello, well today I'd like to do a review of this, which I think is a really good book, because I am actually a Scot. And so being a Scot from Sean Connery. I must say I was a little bit disappointed at first when I received this book because I thought it would be more of an autobiographical type of thing. And it does have elements of autobiography in there. But he mostly focused I should say, because bless him, he's passed away now. He passed away, Miss Money Bunny. But ultimately he was one of my favourite actors. He did so much work that I really appreciated. Plus the fact he was in the Royal Navy, which was another amazing achievement when he was a kid. And well, there you are, sir. But I mean, who could name the who could name all the films that he's done that are A-class, amazing, really cool actor. And my parents actually, well, my dad's dead now, but they went to see South Pacific, which was a show on in the West End of London, and Sean was in the one of the extras, you know, and he sung "There Is Nothing Like a Dame." So there you go. You see, that was back in the 1950s, very early, before his film career had actually taken off. But as we all know, the man, I mean, who wouldn't know Sean Connery? That's a fact. But it's an awesome chapter. That looks like from the time period when he was the man who would be king on the Marwar Pass, Petrie. And that's obviously his mum. Bless her. She's probably long gone, obviously. I think that was his last movie, Finding Forrester. Don't ever quote me on any of this rubbish that I say, because but look at him there. That's him as a little tiny kid. How funny is that? But the abject poverty that they lived in Edinburgh, Old Reekie, they used to call Edinburgh, because it used to smoke and stink so much. The smoke was really, bad quality. The air, sorry, was really bad quality. The smoke was probably bad quality as well. I'm joking. But yeah, some lovely photos, and I can highly recommend this book. I must say, I can highly recommend it. There he is in real life with his family, obviously, or mates drinking down a pub, sort of thing. And you can see what sort of a bloke he was with his humour. He always had a very dry wit, which I really liked. Found it very funny, like when he chucked a hairdryer into a bath or something when he was James Bond once, and he said "shocking" to kill the bad guy. I think that's him there. My eyes are all so bad now. But no, he's pretty much done everything as far as a film actor could do. And he was a very physically fit chap. You know, he used to do weight training. That's called The Hill. That was one of his most famous black and white films. And he was a male model because he was so physically ripped. Obviously, he had work, doing that. Which, why not? I suppose if you're looking for money, there he is there as a a very hunky-looking kind of geezer. Not that I'm into blokes, but I can understand that that's very attractive to the ladies. Put it that way. Oh, there you go. Look, South Pacific. So he was in that, and he was determined. Although he had a very limited education, he was determined to educate himself, and he did that by reading. I think he said somewhere along the lines of one of the best things that ever happened to me was being taught how to read, and he effectively educated himself through books. I think he's arguably one of the greatest actors that's ever walked the face of the earth. He was multi-talented and totally believable. And so now the book goes into Scottish history, and well, it's a very enthralling episode, in actual fact, this book, a tomb, or whatever they call it. There's loads and loads of very interesting bits and bobs, and of course the beauty of Scotland just is outstanding. It just stands up for itself. That's in Skye, And the islands, the Highlands and Islands as they're known as, were just absolutely awesome. I could highly recommend anyone that's never been to Scotland to visit and go. And the Scottish people are so friendly. I can promise you that, they are so friendly. It's quite unbelievable, really, how friendly they actually are, you know. Although, bear in mind that they have a heavy accent, some of them, especially the Glaswegians, you know. What did I just say? Answers on a postcard. Answers on a postcard. But no, there you go. That's Sean's wife, Micheline, I think her name is Micheline. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He met her on a golf course because he was a massive fan of golf, and yeah. And anyway, so this is a cracking book. I can highly recommend it. If you know, there you go. It says here, as long as actors are going into politics, I wish for Christ's sake that Sean Connery would become King of Scotland. So they pretty much true. Yep, I totally agree with you. I concur, sir. I totally concur. But it was done by, this book was done by Weinfeld and Nicholson. Weinfeld, do you say, or was it Wiedenfield? I don't know, because what do I know about anything, isn't it? It's all bizarre, it's odd. But it's called Being a Scot by Sean Connery. And I've got one more just quickly because this video is rolling on now. But Christopher Bray did a very, very good book about Sean Connery called The Measure of a Man. And that's a, you know, that's a great photo of old Sean there. This is a cracker of a book as well. And you know, it talks about his kind of sort of sex symbol attraction and his measures, does a lot of measures. I've got a tape measure, Miss Moneypenny. I'll go into Roger Moore now, if I may, in competition. But there you go. That's that one. And it's a good book. I like it a lot. And I don't know if there's any photos in it. In actual fact, yes, here they are. So there you go. There's Sean in Another Time, Another Place, 1957. He was rattling around for years, and then he made James Bond, of course, which made him a superstar. But he was also, he worked for Alfred Hitchcock in the beautiful, wonderful film Marnie in the 60s as well. He was a versatile chap. That's the clock, by the way, if you can hear that bell ringing. He worked with all sorts of famous stars as well, probably people know. Oh, that's his first wife. She was an Italian, I think, called Diane Cilento. Diane Cilento. You know, that they were married together for some years, and then obviously things perhaps didn't work out, and I don't know, it's not my business. Cracking film, The Highlander. I remember my favourite line out of that one is, haggis? What is haggis? And Christophe Lambert says, it's a sheep's stomach stuffed with meat and barley. And he sneezes and says, how revolting. Brilliant. There he is, obviously, with Harrison Ford. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Anyway, there you go. That's my sort of book review of the day, and I would absolutely highly recommend them. Being a Scot by Murray Grigor, and The Measure of a Man by Christopher Bray. He's out for the count, isn't he? It's off asleep in the land of Nod, in the land of Nod. It's gone to Todd, isn't it? And, and anyway, thanks ever so much for watching, everybody. Very best wishes. Cheers.